Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Life Lessons card of the Hooded Man. And thinking about this card today, I was like, this is a great opportunity to just go inward a little bit. All right, to see, to reflect on the journey that you've been on. Okay, and by coming in a little bit and just taking a step back and looking at the trajectory that you're on, and knowing that you got your sights set on the goal, because that was yesterday's card, the Archer, that it's, the thinking that I had was, man, everything's been running great. Okay, I've got my sights on the goal. I said, I feel really balanced emotionally. I feel balanced spiritually. Things are going in the direction, that the universe wants to go in. I mean, I don't have any choice of it, right? But that is, we've seen that come up with the wheel card here, 10 days ago. And that's a life lesson card that, you control the destiny that's in your hands, right? With the opportunities that are at hand. So, meditating on this card today, one of the things that always draws me to this card is the light. And we see that in the Eight of Arrows in the struggle. And I always say that when that light's out, okay, that's your beacon of hope. Well, here, he's got the hope. You're holding that lamp out there and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I can move forward. I've got this light and, I've got that hope. I've got that ability to move forward in my plans. Okay. But let me just take a step back and go within. And by going within, as excited as I am, as passionate as I am, with everything that's going on, again, let's take that step back and just say, okay, let's look at this from a different perspective. Okay, not from like a mirror perspective, which is one of the life lessons cards we haven't seen here in a bit, but from a perspective of, the journey that you've been on, the people that have come across your path, the green man, the shaman, the seer, all these different people that have happened. The ancestor's still down here, the archer's still down here. You're beating that drum, right? You've committed to moving forward. Now it's a time to look within and say, okay, do I have everything I need to move forward? I have the knowledge, I have the wisdom, I'm feeling balanced in all the areas of my life. Let's put this plan into motion. I still got the King of Bows and the King of Arrows down here, right? So, as you're kind of going back within and looking on that journey, you're contemplating things. Okay, you're looking at, it's just a time of stillness and contemplation right now. And it kind of brings that light that comes to the forefront of, what could go wrong? What are those fears that are in front of me? All right. And, not that it brings up the doubts, but they're always there. Okay. And the way I categorize it is when those fears come ahead, I want to challenge it straight on. When the doubts are there, okay, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if, always have a plan. And that's where you're able to sit back for a little bit and just say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to move forward. I'm not going to worry about what everybody thinks. Okay, but there's the plan. Okay, as I'm putting it forward. Now, the question I want to ask you in this card is, who's got the power here? Is it the Hooded Man? Or is it the Page of Arrows? The Wren. Okay, now, a lot of people would say, the Hooded Man's got all the answers. It's like, yeah, but the smartest person in this picture is the Wren. Mythologically, the Wren flew on the bird's back and was actually the highest bird that has ever flown. I'm not sure how the myth goes, but the Wren, knowing that, the eagle was taking off, or the hawk, whatever one that was flying highest, he knew that if he was on top of it, he would still be the highest. And, so what does that myth, or legend tell us? It's like, you don't have to be the greatest. You don't have to be the biggest, the most powerful. You can be the smallest. All right? And, just do the one small thing to put you over the top. Okay? Because why? Because he was smart enough, they were smart enough to fly on the top of that, that eagle or that hawk, whatever it was. So, here the hooded man is having that conversation with that page of arrows, the wren. And they're having an equal discussion. It's not unequal, He's asking him about, what's going on in the forest. And the wren's asking him, what other wisdom and knowledge can I gain? And we don't ever want to stop gaining that wisdom and knowledge. And that's where we, again, we have to withdraw a little bit and say, okay, what have I learned on this journey moving forward? What is the wisdom that I've garnered or gained along this path? I've had my challenges, fighting for things, but I've also had the mentorship of a couple kings here lately to help guide me. Where are you focused clearly, right? Where do you need to take charge? And, maybe this is an opportunity, to sit back and ask yourself, how do I communicate my ideas and articulate those ideas to the people that I work with? Taking charge, right? Who do I need to talk with to gain more information around doing something with your IRA, or 401k? Okay, that's that knowledge. Seeking out that mentorship, seeking out that king of bows, seeking out that king of arrows, the kingfisher and the adder. And it's just a time to, okay, I've got the information I need. This is how I want to proceed. Do I want to proceed fast? Do I want to proceed slow? Okay. And he used an analogy. I've been working on a room for the last year, trying to upgrade it. And I'm to the flooring piece of it. And I look at it and say, okay, I procrastinated enough, maybe. Just other things, made it a priority. How do I want to go about doing this? First off, I need to have a plan on how I want to do it. Okay. Now I can sit back and look at that plan and say, okay, what's going to be the cost? Okay. Where am I going to get the best deal? What is it that I want to accomplish? Okay. And then after that is, once the flooring's in, what kind of trim am I going to need around the room? Okay. I need to put everything back in there and start putting that plan, formulating that plan and put it into action. And it's the same thing that this hooded man is allowing us to do. Take that step back, think about it, kind of put all those resources in front of you, all right? Not get distracted with social media, not get distracted with family, but just say, okay, look, here are the steps needed to complete such and such. And this is how I want to do it. And as you go ahead and you do it, and you withdraw a little bit and you think about it, okay, you kind of refresh yourself on your journey. You get more energized off of it. And that's what, long story short, the life lessons card talks about is just take time for yourself, reflect, and then get back into it. And this, it comes at a great time. As everything's been trajectorying up, it's just, okay, where have I come from? Where am I going? And talk with the people that are around you. Keep your eyes on a prize. So that's today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck, the Hooded Man. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and give me a thumbs up. And this is D for the Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Stay safe, everybody.